Good morning, book lovers of the internet. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I am Book Nerd 802, and it's been a while since I last made a book review, but today that is going to change because I am going to be reviewing the Amberglow candy store. This one is written by Hiyoko Kurisu, who I think is a woman. Yeah, she is the author of several novels and novellas. And this isn't even her debut, but it was published in English very recently and translated by Matt Trayvod. It consists of about 230 pages, more or less, and I rated it a 4 out of 5 stars, and it was genuinely such a sweet and gentle read, and honestly an unexpected find from the Merlin outlet in Slema, and the cover alone, honestly, is very pretty, so it was worth the money. This one cost me about 21 euros. It is in hardback, still rather overpriced, but I think that the cover and the story itself they make the price completely worth it. And speaking as a person who recently got his hands on this book as well, which is also a relatively recent publication, The Wizard's Bakery by Gu Byung-mo. This one, I believe, translated from the Korean rather than from the Japanese. This one, the Amberglow candy store, was relatively similar in concept, and it was definitely not as sinister. It was more light-hearted, perhaps, and definitely more wholesome than The Wizard's Bakery. And it has to do with this character called Kogetsu, who has the ability to make sweet treats and imbue them with his powers. And he can, for instance, get people to speak their minds, to see the auras of other people, to understand how strong the connection is, the love they feel towards you, whether they are exhausted or overwhelmed. These kinds of powers which help to fix relationships ultimately. And he's not particularly familiar with human emotions, as I consider myself to be. And no, I am not the kind of Dexter Morgan person um, who does not really understand emotions. I mean, I kind of do, but at the same time, I fabricate most of them. I try to understand them, whereas other people might find it easier to understand certain emotions. And he uses the treats he sells for good prices overall to collect samples which help him with his research, with becoming more of a human like person, because he is more of a god, really, more of a kami perhaps, but he changes into a fox once in a while whenever the moon is right, I guess. He's not a werewolf, but something along those lines. And I found this read to be wholesome and relatable at parts, and I could even empathize for certain characters going through issues with friends, family members, or partners, and some cases were relatable as well, while others I could just empathize and learn through putting myself in those characters' shoes. And it teaches the reader that ultimately it is important to take accountability and stop blaming others for how you feel. No matter how unjustly, how unfairly you might be treated, at the end of the day, you are going to have to pick yourself up from the ashes, whether you set yourself on fire or whether other people do so. You're going to have to pick yourself up from the ashes, rebuild yourself, and take accountability and take action and move on and learn from whatever might happen. And yeah, at the end of the day, how you perceive the world is completely up to you. By the way, the review for both books on Goodreads will be on in my video description. You can just find the links over there. Just take a look at the description, and yeah, there is plenty more to say. Um, in several ways, it is a book which gave me hope and taught me to be more responsible when it comes to expressing myself in order to strengthen relationships whilst sharing what I think is wrong about them, instead of destroying them by consistently blaming others for how I feel without reflecting upon my own actions, which might be toxic behavior. And it is also important to know that only people going through emotional and spiritual issues manage to make it to Gloaming Lane, where this Amberglow candy store is located. It's called Amberglow Candy Store because the emotions are encased in an amber glow once Kogetsu collects them, by the way. And yeah, the people who get to meet with Kogetsu, they teach him a lot but they also heal a lot and they are helped plenty during this process. And I must admit that this did not in any way blow my mind or come across as intensely original or creative, but it was a sweet, no pun intended, and relatable read which could easily pass off as self help in certain situations if you are in a position to see yourself through the lives of some of the characters. Then this could very easily pass off as self help and fiction at the same time. And it was also a relatively quick read, and I would recommend it to people who might be having problems with dealing with those around them and issues which might be bottled up inside rather than expressed, which is not a healthy thing to do on an emotional level. Mental health is as important as physical health is at the end of the day, and just bottling up so many emotions without releasing them through a diplomatic or um, polite way, it can make you a horrible person. So please, if you have anything to say, make sure to do so in a respectful, diplomatic, and kind way. But make sure that your message is put across so that you don't have to bottle those emotions inside and feel frustrated when people don't understand how you feel. If you do not express how you feel, then it's not other people's fault for not understanding what you are going through. I know it might be difficult for some people to put that into words, and that is precisely what these sweets help the people with in some of the situations. It is split into several stories, but they all have a connection with the Amberglow candy store, and each time we return to the Amberglow candy store, Kogetsu takes on a different approach to how he makes business, which also adds to the value of the story and the enjoyment of it at the end of the day. But yeah, I think that is all I had to say with regard to the Amberglow Candy Store by Hiyoko Kurisu. Needless to say, if I ever come across any other books by her, I will definitely be buying and reviewing them on my channel. I have yet to wait for them to be translated into English because they're only published in Japanese so far, and they aren't out in English. Perhaps within the next few months, I will come across something else by this author, and I'll be able to return to the wholesome and loving kind of writing style that she has. And the translator also did a great job. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. Take a look at the rest of my content because why not? It's absolutely amazing. And I'll see you in the next one, hopefully very, very soon. Thank you all for watching, and bye, guys.